Hi and welcome back. So most people, certainly you and I, want to enjoy later life, feeling strong, connected and also mentally sharp. We know this on the channel as Healthspan. But how often do we actually stop and think about whether the things we're doing today, right now, are actually helping us to get there? To help us with that, there's now a new quiz that has been developed as part of the Take 5 to Age Well project. This is a free, expert-led, month-long challenge from the Open University and Age UK. And it aims to make it easier and more empowering to ask that question and then to reflect and actually to take action. Healthy aging doesn't just depend on one single thing. Research shows that our long-term well-being is shaped by a mix of physical, mental and social factors. That's why these experts have identified 5 key areas that they've named the 5 pillars of aging well. Each pillar, according to them, forms a strong foundation for staying well and thriving in later life. I shall go through each of these in turn and let you know what they say. Then I'll add my opinion for what it's worth. And obviously, I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section too. Their first question is, are you getting enough fruit and vegetables? Are you limiting ultra-processed foods? And are you meeting your body's ever-changing nutritional needs? They go on to say that diets like the Mediterranean plan are linked with a lower risk of dementia and other chronic conditions. Now, if you follow my longevity experiment, you'll know that I too have 5 pillars. Mine are the 5 pillars of longevity. Theirs are the 5 pillars for aging well. Now, the wording may be different, but I think the end point is always going to be the same. Increased health span, hopefully an increase in lifespan too. My first pillar is also nutrition. Now, I did toy with the idea that that would be the foundation and then I would only have 4 pillars. Now, I believe no matter what you want to improve in your life, if your diet, and that's food and timing, is bad, everything else is going to suffer. For example, no matter how clean and well serviced your car is, if you're putting in crap fuel, it's not going to perform well. As the old adage goes, crap in, crap out. So let's talk about what they say about the first question. Are you getting enough fruit and vegetables? Here's a screenshot of the NHS, the National Health Service website in the UK. First on the list is to eat at least 5 portions of a variety of fruit and vegetables every day. Sounds good. But there are no scientific studies that support this statement. All studies that recommend this are observational and they're not interventional. That means they track people's diets through interviews and questionnaires. Epidemiological studies, as I've covered numerous times before, are open to a whole host of biases. This includes not only the biases of the participants who sometimes lie or don't remember what they've eaten, but also the researchers who then compile the data and then decide what they're actually going to publish. I like the clever twist on the old proverb, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but 2 a day keeps him in pay. It plays on the idea that moderation is healthy, but even if something is good for you, in excess, it may not always be better for you. I do eat fruit and vegetables, but certainly not every day. And over the last 6 years, my blood tests, on average, have always been within the reference range, and my general well-being, as far as I'm concerned, seems to be going from strength to strength. And also remember that not all fruit is created equal. Some are very high on the glycemic index. And I think that keeping your blood sugar low in an attempt to fend off diabetes is sensible advice. They also say to base your meals on higher fibre, starchy foods like potatoes, bread, rice or pasta. Now this to me looks very much like the American food pyramid, which since its inception has done nothing to reduce the obesity or age-related diseases that are rampant in America. Indeed, as the years roll on, the term early onset is now being added to more and more diseases. Early onset Alzheimer's disease and dementia, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, to name just a few. There are now at least 10 major disease categories currently recognised as having significant early onset forms, and within those there are over 25 distinct diseases. So if it isn't food causing this, then what is it? If I was to follow the food pyramid, I would turn it on its head, with high fibre starchy foods being at the top and not eaten that much, if at all. They also say to choose unsaturated oils and spreads. That means they want us to eat canola oil, sunflower oil, soybean oil, corn oil, and to seek out butter alternatives. And these are made primarily from vegetable oils. Now, you may think differently to me, but I try to not eat anything that I can't make in the kitchen. You could probably complete 2 or maybe 3 of the processes needed to make canola oil. Question, have you ever seen a canola fruit? Nope, because the can in canola comes from the word Canada. During World War II, Canada grew massive amounts of rapeseed to supply lubricating oil for ship engines because it worked well under high heat. After the war was over, they needed to find a way of now using all of this surplus. So they made food out of it. They made food out of engine oil. Seems like a good idea. What indeed could go wrong? The National Health Service in the UK also say that swapping unsaturated fats can help lower cholesterol levels. Now, is that a good idea? Why would you want to lower your cholesterol levels?
Cholesterol is not really all bad. Cholesterol is really important for cell structure, and low levels can actually impact your general energy level. We use cholesterol to make steroid hormones, which are important for sexual functioning, bone health, and mental status. And also, I think it's good for us to remember that cholesterol is used by the liver to make bile acids, and they're necessary for fat digestion. So I think it's been kind of years that we've thought of cholesterol as being all bad, but we sort of need to put it into context.
Now, they do also say that malnutrition is a serious concern in older age, especially when it comes to maintaining strong muscles and also bones. And this I agree with 100%. Older people must ensure they eat plenty of protein to at least maintain, but preferably build lean muscle in an effort to fend off sarcopenia. I also think that resistance training is a must. You can't just rely on the food. The second question they ask is, are you staying hydrated? Now, personally, I think this should be covered in the first question to do with nutrition. They say that cutting down on sugary drinks can help you maintain a healthy weight, and that staying within the recommended alcohol limits can also help lower your risk of conditions like dementia. Now, I agree with all of these points, but if you're only going to ask 5 questions, why waste one of them on drinking water? More on that later, specifically on what I think they've left out. The third question is, are you getting enough physical activity? Are you moving regularly? Enough activity, they say, to raise your heart rate? Are you breaking up long periods of sitting with movement? These questions are all obviously about exercise. Exercise, as it happens, is my second pillar of longevity. Now, the NHS says that a sedentary lifestyle is linked to a wide range of health risks. Simple habits like walking can help boost physical fitness, sharpen the mind, and help prevent osteoporosis, especially when paired with good nutrition. Their advice is also to go for 2 short walks a day. But how long is a short walk? 10 minutes, 20, 40? This advice I think is good, but it lacks a measurable standard. Then they say to take 5 minutes outside to breathe and to take in the outdoors. Now, I'd like to see what scientific study shows that 5 minutes is the sweet spot. What do you think? Personally, I think 5 minutes is probably not long enough. Then they say to do 3 short 6 to 10 minute bursts of weight-bearing exercise every day. Now, I've got no problem with this whatsoever, but maybe add a formula to ascertain the weight that you need to carry. Something simple like a weight that equates to 10% of your body weight. Then they say to get up and move around at least once every hour. Again, I think this is good advice, and this is achievable and also measurable. On to question 4, and they say here, are you connecting socially? Are you keeping in touch with other people? Are you spending time in your community and enjoying meaningful connections? They say loneliness increases the risk of depression and also cognitive decline. They also say building strong relationship ties earlier in life can help protect well-being over the longer term.
In summary, going from the least powerful predictor to the strongest, okay? So clean air, which is great, it doesn't predict how long you will live. Whether you have your hypertension treated is good, still not a strong predictor. Whether you're lean or overweight, you can stop feeling guilty about this because it's only in 3rd place. How much exercise you get is next, still only a moderate predictor. whether you've had a cardiac event and you're in rehab and exercising, getting higher now, whether you've had a flu vaccine. Did anybody here know that having a flu vaccine protects you more than doing exercise? Whether you were drinking and quit, or whether you're a moderate drinker, whether you don't smoke, or if you did, whether you quit. And getting towards the top predictors are two features of your social life. First, your close relationships. These are the people that you can call on for a loan if you need money suddenly, who will call the doctor if you're not feeling well, or who will take you to the hospital, or who will sit with you if you're having an existential crisis, if you're in despair. Those people, that little clutch of people, are a strong predictor, if you have them, of how long you'll live. And then something that surprised me, something that's called social integration. This means how much you interact with people as you move through your day. How many people do you talk to? And these mean both your weak and your strong bonds. So not just the people you're really close to who mean a lot to you, but like, do you talk to the guy who every day makes you your coffee? Do you talk to the postman? Do you talk to the woman who walks by your house every day with her dog? Do you play bridge or poker or have a book club? Those interactions are one of the strongest predictors of how long you live.
And their final question is, are you challenging your brain? Are you keeping your mind active by learning, reading, playing an instrument, or trying something new? Research does show that learning about your interests, activities like crosswords, puzzles, or new physical activities can keep the brain healthy and potentially delay the signs of dementia. Now, there's no magic fix, but even small actions, they say, can have lasting benefits. Now, I agree with this. The problem I see is that people's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter, and I see this firsthand. My YouTube videos that are around, say, 10 minutes long usually get, on average, around 4 to 4.5 minutes of watch time. That's less than 50%. Now, I know also that my audience, in the main, are aged between 25 and 54. Now, this jumping around on YouTube isn't an attempt to improve people's knowledge or boost their brain power. It's an attempt to get a bigger dopamine hit. The open rate on my Substack articles is good, but I know some people open them, but they won't read them. And that's okay. That's their choice. But the adage, the old adage, use it or lose it, I think is very relevant here. Do you want to lose it? I know for one, I certainly do not. Now, I'm not saying watch all of my videos or read all of my articles. I like that. But I prefer that people that were jumping around on my videos actively try to avoid seeking out these dopamine hits and set time aside to learn more and challenge their brain more too. For me, I'm lucky. It's anything to do with my 5 pillars of longevity. You just need to focus on something that you like, and then it won't feel like it's a chore. Back to the Take 5 to Age Well quiz. They then say it was developed to help people reflect on how they're doing across these 5 areas and where there might be some room for them to grow. They say that unlike many online quizzes, theirs doesn't just score you, it supports you. This I wholeheartedly disagree with. If your goal is to improve in these areas, you need to measure your achievements. I think you should use SMART targets, and then based on the GROW model, you should coach yourself so that you can improve. They also say that healthy aging isn't just about avoiding illness, which I agree with. It's about learning how to age well, maintaining your independence, and also confidence and the quality of your life. And they believe here, and I do too, that education is key. I think that an aging population that is learning how to take proactive steps to protect their mental and physical health is more important now than it ever was. They're correct when they say that many of the most effective actions you can take are small and they must be realistic. You don't have to run marathons or give up everything that you enjoy. No matter what your age, it's never too early or too late to start your longevity to aging well. I think the Take 5 to Age Well project is a laudable one, but I think they've missed out here on a massive opportunity. This could have been a hugely valuable resource. Now, whether it was poor research and planning, weak execution, or both, the product, I think, lacks essential detail in the areas that they did actually focus on. It appears to be a vanilla attempt at healthspan/longevity advice, almost as though they were worried that if someone followed their advice to the letter and didn't see any improvements, there could be some founded disappointment or backlash. This is now far less likely with their wishy-washy advice. The current US government's advice on exercise is for adults aged between 18 and 64 and older, they should aim for at least 150 to 300 minutes per week of moderate intensity exercise. That's things like brisk walking, or 75 to 150 minutes per week of vigorous intensity activity. That, they say, is jogging, or an equivalent combination of both. This is, in my humble opinion, far too large an age group bracket, and if it's based on a scientific study, it doesn't seem to be making much of a difference to making people in America much healthier. That said, it is still, in my humble opinion, as good, if not better, than the UK's Take 5 to Age wellness guidelines for fitness. One of my pillars of longevity that is missing from this UK questionnaire is sleep. Now, there's a huge amount of scientific data on the importance of sleep on cognitive function and memory, immune system boosting, emotional and mental health, mood regulation, and also stress reduction, as well as its positive effects on metabolism, weight management through hormone regulation. And that deep sleep in particular supports heart health, lowers blood pressure, and helps repair muscle and tissue, all of which help reduce the risk of chronic age-related disease. So why it isn't mentioned really does baffle me. So let me know in the comments below if you were serious about making changes to your lifestyle you just started in an attempt to extend your health span. Would you use this questionnaire as the blueprint? And if not, what would you use? Now, it doesn't really matter what you do or how you do it, but you do really need some kind of plan.